We are live. My name is Alan Gregory, Director of B2B Power Alliance, here with JP Maroney. How are you, JP?
I'm good. I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. We'll talk about your
He's
glasses.
afraid. He's afraid to ask. I
I
told him he
am.
has to ask why I'm wearing glasses, and he has no idea why.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's just get that out of the way. JP, why are you wearing these glasses? Please tell us.
Well, I'm not doing a Stevie Wonder impersonation, and I don't have a drug problem, so I'm not trying to cover up my pupils. No, the fact is that the future is so bright. I have to wear shades.
Oh boy.
So with that, there we go. All
Uh,
right, man. See, you walked right into that, but it
yeah.
wasn't nearly as painful as it could have been.
It could have been a lot worse. Okay, so guys, today we're going to discuss marketing event multiplier. This is episode number 5, and just to give you a brief precursor of what's going on. So, guys, I want you to think about something. When you do a marketing event can be a webinar, a teleseminar, a speaking engagement, it could be a bunch of different things, right? Now, if you think about going out and building your own audience, it's going to take you time, it's going to take you effort, it's going to take you money to be able to do that. Now, if you want to, let's just take JP and I, for example. He has an audience, I have an audience. In order for him to reach my customers, it would take him time, effort, and money to do so. If, however, we have an alliance, and we do, he'd be able to instantly tap into my customer base just by having an alliance with me. So if I had 500 customers and he had 500 customers together, we now have 1,000. That's the power of a marketing event, and that's just with 2 people. If you multiply that out to 3, 4, 5, it expands even more. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So, JP, can you give us a little bit of insight? What is a cooperative marketing event?
Yeah, well, you mentioned webinar, hangout, teleseminar, things like that, but I also want people to be aware that a cooperative marketing event can be offline as well. So it could be online, it could be offline. So write that down, number one. And then really what it's all about is what you said, and that is leveraging off of the audience that each person brings to the table. So in the case you were talking about, if you had 5 folks and each of them got 100 people on a line, well, they may each only bring 100 people, but they're going to collectively reach 500 people, and they're going to reach 400 people that they wouldn't have reached otherwise. There's some other benefits to that too, because when you're promoting a cooperative event where you've got multiple people, especially within a certain niche market, it is very likely that people getting those invitations will be getting invitations from more than one of the people promoting the event. And that does create sort of a layering effect that people, it's like people have talked about, that sometimes you have to hear a message more than once before it sinks in or before you react to it or take action on it. And it's certainly true whenever you're talking about inviting people to some sort of an event. But yeah, it comes down to, if I've got a handful of people I could get to something and you do, and then someone else does and someone else does, we can multiply our efforts. And if, in the case of what we teach with marketing leverage, do this with people who are non-competitive but complementary, then that means that you and I can both go into this, and the other partners that we bring into this strategic alliance can go into this knowing that we're not going to have any competition on the call. We can open up our heart and our minds and our souls. We can invite the people that we care about and know and sell to and service, knowing that we're not going to lose anything. We have everything to gain and really no downside in that opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, can you tell us why do these things work so well, and kind of give us maybe even a case study?
Yeah, I'll give you a case study, and then I'm going to probably take it back a little bit old school, because we did these for a number of years as what I call telesummits. Some people call telesummits or web summits and things like that. But really what these were about was, over the last, since I guess I got online in about 2004, 2005, we would get a bridge line, and anybody can do that today. It's free. Google Hangouts are free. You can hop on a line with some other people. Everybody reach out and invite their list and invite their social media influence nowadays, and be able to put a pretty good number of people on a call. And what we always try to do is it can go different formats, so maybe we could talk about what those different formats could be, but just to give you some examples, it could be a round table. I did a round table a number of years ago. It was me, Yannick Silver, Michelle Fortin, there were 3 or 4 other guys. There were a total of about 4 or 5 of us that were experts on this call, And a friend of mine who's now passed away, the late John Ritzkowitz, he actually moderated the call and did sort of like a roundtable. And I think he called it $1 Million Offline Roundtable or something like that. And we each just shared our experiences based on some prompts or questions that he put out in front of the group. And like you would do in a live conference roundtable or something, we did it virtually, and he would suggest something, talk about something, ask a question or regarding the overall topic of it, and then we would respond and share our stories or our insights or something that really was meaningful. So the cool thing about doing these kinds of events is they can be ultra structured and formal, where everybody has a real rigid agenda of what they're going to cover, and they can be more informal, where you just have some talking points and some questions or prompts, and everyone shares from their depth of experience and depth of knowledge. The latter is really cool because you can do a lot of these without feeling like you've got to take a ton of time away from your business to constantly plan out and formalize what you're going to say. So you could literally roll through a number of alliance-based cooperative marketing events and do one a week, one a month, or one a quarter, whatever you feel comfortable with in your business. And with each of those, you'll reach an ever-increasing larger group of people that haven't already been exposed to your expertise.
So let's say some of our listeners wanted to actually coordinate this. Could you give us some steps of actually how to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you and I kind of went through the steps because we're putting together one right now for the members of B2B Power Alliance. And I think today we talked about basically, because as we record this, we're right in the middle of July 2014, and we said, let's talk about like 10 ways or 12 ways, depending on the number of people we have on the call, experts that are members of the Alliance, 10 or 12 ways to basically multiply your sales and profits in your company and make the second half of 2014 bigger and better than the first half of 2014. So it's neat when you're doing event-based stuff to sort of help people conceptualize a hook or an idea, a basic idea. So that was what we were talking about on our private call today as we were planning this. And then we reverse engineered some of the things that would need to happen. So you need to put an event date down and just put that peg in the corkboard, so to speak, and say, okay, now we have a date. Make sure that all your partners that are getting on board know what that date is and can clear their calendars. And so then you need sort of like overriding copy of what that's going to include. And you're going to have a headline, you're going to have a hook or an opening paragraph or something for your copy of why people should think about attending this event, what's in it for them, what are the benefits. Then you're going to have sort of some bullet points or agendas. And the easy way to think about that is to utilize the sort of the headlines from each person's presentation, which could be anywhere from 5 or 10 minutes up to an hour, each person, depending on how many you have and how much time you're going to spend overall for the entire event. And so what I look at is create a sort of like a bullet point headline for each one of their presentations. So if someone's going to be talking about improving or optimizing landing pages as an example, well, maybe optimizing landing pages you could do a week-long or probably a multi-week training series on, so you can't cover it all. So if you're going to speak for 10, 15, 20 minutes, what could be something that you could bring to the table? Well, it could be like 3 simple tweaks to any landing page that's guaranteed to improve conversions by 10 to 15% without fail. It could be a little known secret about conversion, about landing pages anyone can implement, but almost no one executes on or something. So you could write a headline, and there are a lot of different headline formulas. We give away some PDFs and stuff to our members on how to write better headlines, how to create the copy that's going to promote. But it could be how-to, it could be a simple way, it could be the one thing you should never do, or the one thing you should make sure every landing page contains that will, double conversions or whatever. So you can come up with all sorts of hooks. So each person should have a hook around what they're going to cover, and it should be a benefit to the listener or the viewer of that group event. In other words, it shouldn't be like, we're going to cover the latest in the law about what how companies are formed. That's sort of like a dry, bland thing, but it could be the three dangerous, costly mistakes entrepreneurs make when setting up their companies. Now, somebody might think, now that sounds pretty interesting. I might want to pay attention to that. So you have to convert whatever it is you're going to say into something that would enter the conversation going on in the mind of the prospect. So they're already thinking about their problems, their frustrations, their challenges. You need to articulate your message in a way that will resonate with them and that they will pay attention to it and want to come. And like a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever bought info products where you bought that product maybe for one little thing. It had a lot of other stuff, but you were like, man, I got to learn that thing. Well, the bullets work very similar to that. So a person might attend an event based on just one or two things that really stood out to them, and another person might attend that event based on one or two things that stood out to them, but collectively they all get there, they all get exposed to all of that same stuff. So once you have that copy or those bullets from your strategic alliance partners, then everyone needs to agree on a promotion schedule. With ours, everyone is going to be promoting leading up to that over about a week and a half period of time. They're each agreeing to mail their list a certain number of times. They're each agreeing to promote it in social media and other channels that they might have that they could get the word out. So it's a collective effort, and everyone's involved in that process. Once you get everybody on board and committed to promoting, you need to provide them with the things that they're going to use to send out. The easier you make it for people, the less likely they are to delay it and not do it and put it off. So if you make people write their own promotional copy, you may find that they never promote, but if you give them something, they might tweak it to their voice and send it out, or they might just send it out, load it up. A lot of us are lazy. We just, if it goes, it looks pretty good, they load it up and send it out just as it is. And again, it goes back to the idea, really the strength of these things, is that you're going to get a chance to get your solution to the problem the market faces in front of a group of people that already have those problems. And and that's why you would never want to do I'm trying to think. So you would never really want to do a group hangout with someone who teaches business, who's a business consultant, let's say, and does profit improvement or performance improvement in corporations, with someone that is an absolute genius in selling. And I know and I mean S-A-I-L-I-N-G, not S-E-L-L-I-N-G. But I know that seems, that's very extreme, but I want you to understand is you want group events to target one audience, and you want everyone that's involved in it to be the kind of people who sell to the same audience. So yeah, it might be kind of interesting to get on a call and learn about business growth and selling your own 25-foot yacht or whatever, but there's going to be a major disconnect. And instead, if you had one on selling and one person was talking about certain type, dealing in certain kinds of wind conditions, and another one is talking about how to care for your boat, and another one's talking about bringing together a team, for race regattas or whatever. What I mean? That's not my world, so I'm just kind of making up stuff. But that would all appeal to people that are interested in sailing. And so you just want to make sure that whatever that group event is, it can be tennis, it could be recreational activities. I went out and my daughters and I went out and took had a private surfing lesson on Sunday morning of this week, yesterday I guess it was. And if somebody put stuff out there and said, hey, here's going to be something that's going to be kind of cool about surfing, that's something I'm really interested in right now, trying to improve, trying to get better at, I might actually attend that or listen to it later if it was a recorded event. So I'm a target audience for that, whereas someone else, and I'm interested in business stuff, but I wouldn't want to hear both on one call, right?
Right.
So you pick a theme, you come up with an idea. So I often say, hey, even niche it down even further. If you wanted to, you and I have talked about maybe doing one just on social media and having the members of B2B Power Alliance that relate to social media. That could be video marketing on YouTube, it could be Facebook, it could be Twitter, it could be LinkedIn, it could be any of those social aspects. And even within that, you could have even greater divisions. So like if we have a guy that does landing page optimization or conversion funnels or something like that, could potentially talk about how do you convert people more effectively and efficiently onto your marketing list and generate leads from social media. So he doesn't necessarily talk about all the traffic side of things, but he talks about what to do with those people. And maybe another person is really good at email marketing, and they come and talk about how to use email, or a 30-day game plan for using email to solidify relationships from people who came on your list from social media campaigns or whatever. So it's kind of like, if you look at HubSpot as an example, HubSpot, talks about marketing and stuff on the front end, but they also teach nurturing and building relationships. So if you sort of thought about all those different things and all the people that relate to that, a copywriter and Facebook expert and all that, you could come up with a group call pretty fast. And other people have done this. It's not something that hasn't been done, but it's extremely powerful.
Well, guys, JP gave you the how and the why of doing this. The tools that are necessary to do it are pretty much free, and you probably already have them. Just an idea of some of the tools. Obviously, you need a computer. Duh. So you need a computer. You need a webcam. You need a microphone, things that I'm sure you already have if you're listening to this call. If you're going to do it for free, you can use something like freeconferencecall.com if you're going to do a telesummit, or if you're going to do it online like we're doing it here, you could just hop on Google Hangouts, which is also free. If you wanted to step it up to go to webinar, you could also do that. That's either $99 a month or up, depending on how far you want to go with that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that the tools are available to you. Even the autoresponder, if you're any kind of marketer, you already have an autoresponder with at least a few leads on it. So all the people that are going to be involved in this, these are going to be people that have these same tools. So it's not like you have to go out and reinvent the wheel. The difficult part about this is probably going to be contacting the experts. Now, of course, in B2B Power Alliance, we already have the experts, so that's kind of where we have the advantage. But that's the best thing about what we have here. It's not like we have to go out searching for these people, because B2B Power Alliance, the alliance that JP and I created, we work specifically looking for these types of people so that they can have these types of alliances, so that they don't have to go out and do that, because that's going to be the biggest obstacle you have to getting there. So that's kind of what we have for B2B Power Alliance, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, you made a very valid point. Some of the most difficult stuff is rounding up the guests or participants in that, and we've already indoctrinated that everyone in B2B Power Alliance has already drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. We all are there specifically for alliances. So I would just put an appeal out: if you are a business consultant, a business coach, or some sort of a service provider to the B2B space, meaning you sell to other business owners, you sell your services, you sell done-for-you things, you sell product to the business space, then you should seriously consider becoming a part, or at least seeing if your business category is available in B2B Power Alliance, because we're creating these events, and all you have to do is plug into them and be a part of them. You don't even have to dream them up on your own. And that does bring me to a point with B2B Power Alliance. As I said when I was giving some of the reasons why it would work, you want to make sure that you're in a non-competitive, complementary environment, and that's the way we created the alliance. Was only one business per category is allowed. So we only have one business attorney, we only have one LinkedIn expert, one Facebook expert, etc., so that no one is competing with one another. And that way, when we go to put these kind of events together, you just step up, become a part of it from your category, and you're able to participate and know that you're not going to have any competition. But you'll want to definitely go to the website. Alan could give it out in just a few minutes. You'll want to go to the website and apply, watch the video, look at what we have to offer, and then apply to see if your category is available. And if your category is available, then we'll set up a quick chat on Skype or phone call, let you ask some questions. We're going to ask some questions of you. If we decide that it looks good, you're going to be fully vetted. We'll check, make sure you have a good reputation, because all of our members from the Alliance are sending their best clients to you, and they're going to be sending people with money, people with problems, and people with money, which is a great combination, and they'll be sending them to you for the solution that you provide. And if you're selected as the member, then again, you'll be a part of our private Facebook group, you'll be a part of our list that we have going, and you'll also be invited to be a part of any and all of these group cooperative events, among other things, as well as setting up one-on-one strategic alliances with your fellow members. But I highly recommend you go to the website. Alan, you want to give that out real quick before we finish up?
Yes, guys. The website to check and see if your category is still available is B2B poweralliance.com. So that's B2B poweralliance.com/categories, plural. So when you go there, you're going to see a list of, I believe it's 70 or 80 categories. Some of them are obviously already filled. That's how you'll know if you are going to be a fit for what we're doing here. Also, if you want to apply or just to generally find out more about B2B Power Alliance in general, you go to b2bpoweralliance.com/apply. And as JP mentioned, at the very top, you're going to see 5 videos of members, and they're talking specifically about why they're excited to be part of B2B Power Alliance. Along that page, you're also going to see what we do, why we do it, and who we're doing it with. So that's all those things there. There's going to be a green button if after you read everything and watch the videos, if you'd like to be a part of it, you click apply. You're going to have an application that pulls up. You fill out the application. It comes to me. I get to look through it, check and make sure that you're going to be the type of person we want to work with, and then we move forward. So that's what we do. That's how we do it. b2bpoweralliance.com/apply if you're serious about getting involved with us. And if you just want to find out about the categories, it's b2bpoweralliance.com/categories. Also, last thing, our Facebook presence is facebook.com/B2B That's our Facebook page.
Awesome. Got the glasses back on. The future's bright. We'll see you. Take care, guys.
All right. See you later, guys.